Good morning, my friends. I wish to tell you about American literature and its iconic writers. What was their achievements? What were their masterpieces? Before I tell you about the iconic writers, I should tell you about American literature. American literature is a body of written works produced in the English language in the United States. After a successful rebellion against the motherland, America became the United States. Now I tell you the iconic writers of American literature. Who are they? Hemingway, Robert Frost, Emily Dickinson, Emerson, Cooper, Herbert Lee, Jordan Irving, William Faulkner, Edgar Allan Poe, O'Neill, Henry James, T.S. Eliot, Mark Twain. These were the beautiful and iconic writers of American literature. No, I begin the writers with Emerson, 1803 and 1882. Who was Emerson? What was his achievement? What was his works? What was his masterpieces? What was his thinking towards society? Now I tell you, you understand, I hope you understand everything properly. Emerson was an ordained minister. He was a philosopher, essayist, and poet whose insightful prose explored the mind of man. He had beautifully illustrated his essay. The name of the essay was Nature, which was written in 1936. Self-Reliance was written in the year of 1841. His beautiful works were Nature was written in the year of 1936. Self-Reliance was written in the year of 1841. Oversoul was written in the year of 1842. Together was written in the year of 1845. American Scholar was written by Emerson. Now, what is the theme of self-reliance? What Emerson was trying to say in self-reliance? What was the message was conveyed by Emerson to society? The theme of self-reliance is the need for each individual to avoid conformity and false consistency, follow his own instincts and ideas. This is the beautiful message was conveyed by Emerson in his self-reliance. Now I tell you the theme of American Scholar. American Scholar is a speech delivered by Emerson in Harvard in August 31, 1837. He was invited to speak in recognition of their groundbreaking with nature. American culture was still heavily influenced by Europe. Emerson wanted to give some suggestion to the American scholars so that they'll be having a great life. They'll be having a man thinking. They'll be living an independent life. They'll be acquiring knowledge. So Emerson has determined to give some suggestions in this speech. Now, he was telling about the man thinking. Man should have, every scholar should have man thinking. Man thinking is an essential function of a man. If a man thinks, He will see the world clearly. He will show the way to the mankind. He will help the mankind. If a man does not think, he cannot see the world properly. If he does not see the world properly, he cannot show the light to the mankind. If he does not show the light to the mankind, he cannot help the mankind. So, Emerson emphasized the scholar to have man thinking. Man thinking is a function of a man. A scholar should seek knowledge rather than just reading the works of others. They must acquire knowledge to live independently. Without acquiring knowledge, no one can live independently. He was focusing these points strongly to the American scholars to have man thinking and have knowledge. America needs to break from its dependence on Europe thought. He conveyed a beautiful message regarding book are best things well used, abused among the worst. Character is higher than intellectualism. So he will be strong enough to think, he will be strong enough to face the problems in the society. He says that the scholar must become independent. The scholar should not have fear. The scholar should have inspiring qualities. The scholar should have heroic qualities. How the scholar will have these are the qualities? Only by man thinking, only by acquiring knowledge, only by living independently, only by reading more books to acquire more knowledge. Then only the scholar will live like this. Without this, the scholar can't live like this. So Emerson was an outstanding playwright, outstanding essayist, outstanding poet. Now I tell you, Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson, 1830 and 1886. She was one of the most prolific poets. She wrote nearly 1,800 poems while leading a reclusive life. She was not leading a happiest and contented life. She was leading a reclusive life. The poems' themes are art, garden, joy, love, death, and Greek. Most of her poems were discovered in her bedroom after her death. I wish to list out the beautiful works of Emily Dickinson. I tasted liquor, never brewed, success counted sweetest, wild nights, I am nobody who you are. Hope is the thing which wither. A bird came down the walk because I could not stop for death. My life had a loaded gun. Tell the truth but tell it slant. These were the beautiful work of Emily Dickinson. She had profound knowledge in human psychology. She was giving importance for themes like garden, love, affection, death, Greek. Most of her poems were like that. These poems are the reflection of her personality. are the reflection of her reclusive life. Now I tell you about Edgar Allan Poe, 1809 and 1849. Edgar Allan Poe is known for his writing style. He was an American writer, poet, editor, and critic. He is known for his poetry and short stories. What are the masterpieces of Edgar Allan Poe? Fall of the House of the Usher, Telltale Heart was written in the year of 1843. Raven was written in the year of 1845. And Anybody was written in the year of 1843. Raven was one of the masterpieces of Edgar Allan Poe. These are the beautiful work written by Edgar Allan Poe. Scott Fitzgerald was written between 1896 and 1940. He wrote novels and short stories about the optimism. The Great Gatsby is considered among the greatest novels of 20th century. He was a writer who was writing novels and short stories about the optimism. Now, Robert Frost, 1814 and 1963. He was an American poet, winner of 4 Pulitzer Prizes. His famous works were Fire and Ice, Mending Wall, Purchase, Nothing Bold Can Stay, and Home Burial. These were the beautiful, outstanding masterpieces of Robert Frost. Robert Frost had profound knowledge in human psychology. He was focusing on human relationship in his work, like Mending Wall, Nothing Gold Can Stay, and Home Burial. Now we go for Hemingway. Hemingway was the greatest journalist, novelist, short story writer. Above all, he was a great sportsman. His beautiful works are The Torrent of the Spring was written in the year of 1925. The Sun Also Rises was written in the year of 1926. Farewell to Arms was written in the year of 1929. To Have and Have Not was written in the year of 1937. To Whom the Bell Tolls was written in the year of 1940. Across the River in the Sea was written in the year of 1950. The Old Man and the Sea was written in the year of 1952. The Adventures of a Young Man was written in the year of 1962. Hemingway was a unique writer. He followed a unique style which was not followed by anybody in his time. He was a great writer. He was a great journalist. He followed a unique style so that he becomes the celebrity all over the world. He beautifully illustrated his theme, The Old Man, the Sea, which was written in the year of 1952. How the old man was struggling a lot in fishing. So he had narrated without any exaggeration the characterization in The Old Man, the Sea. No, I tell you, William Faulkner. He was a Nobel Prize winning novelist and short story writer. He was known for his outstanding works. The Sound of the Fury was written in the year of 1929. Godsman Moses was written in the year of 1962. The Rivers was written in the year of 1962. These were the beautiful and outstanding works of William Faulkner. Hawthorne, 1804 and 1864. Hawthorne was known for his theme like sin, guilt, and witchcraft. Evils are the most inherent natural qualities of mankind. Hawthorne beautifully narrated the characters by taking the theme like sin, guilt, witchcraft. So he became the celebrity all over the world for his outstanding masterpieces. Mark Twain. He is known for witty and satirical prose and comical dialogue of his characters. Twain has been dubbed the father of American literature. Now I tell you, Washington Irving, one of the greatest fiction writer. He was known for his two masterpieces, Timeless Tales, The Legend of the Sleep Hollow. So he had great insight. His style was different from others. He followed a unique style in his work like Timeless Tales, The Legend of the Sleep Hollow. Now Jack London, what was a great writer between 1876 and 1916, drawing the experience as a sailor, gold prospector, an adventurer. His novels were his outstanding masterpieces. The Call of the Wild was written in 1903. Sea Wolf was written in the year of 1904. White Fang was written in the year of 1906. Hermann was one of the greatest novelists in American literature. He is best remembered for his masterpiece, which was written in the year 1851, Moby Dick, a big novel. It's about a vengeful captain. No, T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot is one of the greatest British poet, essayist, philosopher, playwright, literary critic, and editor. His masterpieces: Hollow Man, Wasteland, Confidential Clerk, Family Reunion, The Use of Poetry and the Use of Criticism, Christianity and Culture, The Elder Statesman, Tradition and Individual Talent. These were the masterpieces of T.S. Eliot. He was a great playwright and publisher and literary critic. He didn't change his ideas for anyone while writing his works. He became a celebrity all over the world. O'Neill was the second son of well-known actor James O'Neill, born in October 16, 1888. He was the American greatest playwright. He was telling, I am interested in the relationship between man and God. He didn't have the idea in the relationship between man and man. He focused his attention in man's destiny. His beautiful works or Harriet, Strange Interlude, and Emperor Jones were his masterpieces. His outstanding masterpieces brought him name and fame. He became the celebrity all over the world, and he became the greatest playwright of American literature. Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller belonged to a middle class family. Arthur Miller has been considered the major representative of American dramas since 1940. He emphasized the ideas through his work that every man should work and should realize his responsibility to society. So everyone is responsible to the society. Everyone has to realize his responsibility to society. We cannot escape from the responsibility. If you fail to escape from responsibility, you are not a good citizen. If you are responsible in home, you will be responsible in society. If you are responsible in society, you will be responsible citizen. And you will realize your responsibility to society. In all my work, Arthur Miller evasion, the social responsibilities caused the death of 21 pilots. Who is responsible for 21 pilots? An individual is responsible for 21 pilots. So everyone is responsible for 21 pilots. We cannot blame an individual for the cause of 21 pilots. Now his beautiful works, All My Son, Death of a Salesman, The Man Who Had Leg Up, and Enemy of the People. No, he belongs to a middle class family. He emphasized the idea through his work that every man should realize their responsibility. Responsibility makes a man great, so that everyone should understand the responsibilities of his life. That is very, very important. William Cather, 1873 and 1947. He was a pioneer of American literature. So he wrote a beautiful work, My Pioneer, which was written in the year of 1913, My Antonia, about the life of American frontier. Now James Cooper, 1789 and 1851. He was best known for his book Leather Stocking series. He introduced the first American hero, Natty Pumbo, honorable and fearless woodsman. No, John Steinbeck was a great American writer and short story writer. Between 1902 and 1968, he is known for his Mice and Man, which was written in the year of 1937. Grapes of Wrath was written in the year of 1939. East of Eden was written in the year of 1952. This was the beautiful work of John Steinbeck. Mark Twain. Mark Twain, he is known for his witty and social prose and colloquial dialect of his characters. He has been dubbed the father of American literature. Walt Whitman, 1819 and 1892. His beautiful works were Leaves of Grace, Oh Captain, My Captain, about the Oh Captain, My Captain, a beautiful poem about the assassination President Abraham Lincoln.